Hi, my name is Malcolm. I'm 22. I'm from Sherman Oaks. My biggest concern right now is the Stop Online Piracy Act. And I feel it's a very archaic way of allowing corporations to stop the innovation of the internet, which I already feel is a perfect form of free speech. Punish an individual as someone who is distributing copyrighted material instead of having a corporation innovate in the way to distribute their information, I think is wrong. Because there are corporations and businesses like Spotify, for instance, and Netflix, who charge a low monthly fee for access to thousands of songs and films, which has actually allowed me to not really seek downloading music and film. I think SOPA would really restrict our free speech.
Yep.
And I'm very concerned about it.
Let me take a little bit of time to say I agree with a number of the points you made, but it should not lead you to the conclusion that SOPA is a bad bill, and let me explain why. Netflix, I assume Spotify, Apple, iTunes, these are wonderful, new, innovative ways of delivering movies, delivering television programming, delivering shows, in cases like Amazon and Kindle, delivering books and newspapers through the internet. This is a huge advance, it's a huge improvement. And to some extent, the industry, some of them based here, were very slow to accommodate those new ways of delivery, even though that's what consumers wanted. They do not show infringing material. Netflix does not give you a movie that they didn't make a deal with the owner of the copyright to let you get that movie. SOPA only covers one kind of website, a foreign website that we cannot reach through traditional copyright laws, that is primarily dedicated to selling infringing material. Think Pirate Bay. None of your domestic sites, Facebook, Twitter, eBay, none of them are going to be affected by anything in SOPA, with the amendments that we have put in to clarify that point. None of the technologies that threaten the security of the internet are going to be used. But here's the larger point. I believe very much in free speech. But free speech is not somebody else's work that I get to take for free. So when you cite a Pirate's Bay that is foreign-based, it's been pushed out of a number of countries, it keeps moving, and it's distributing illegally taken properties that they're not paying any compensation to millions and millions of people who are downloading it off the internet. That's wrong. And people who I really respect, who are concerned about SOPA, they would never tolerate this kind of activity in the brick and mortar world. You don't get to go in and shoplift. You don't get to steal a product from the store because that you didn't pay for. And my own view of government is government has an activist role to play in protecting consumers and making sure the law is observed. I'm against any prior restraints on speech. The Ellsberg case, remember that one? A few of us are old enough to remember it. In that decision where they denied the effort by the Nixon administration to get an injunction against the New York Times printing that paper, they talked about why the First Amendment prohibits prior restraints, but that does not prohibit an injunction against a newspaper that wanted to print somebody else's article. Copyright law and the First Amendment are totally compatible. They're both constitutionally protected rights. And let me ask you something. If NBC wanted to show a film that a studio had made and never got the permission of the studio's lawyers would be in court in a minute. Now, you raised one other issue that I want to make sure I understood what you were talking about. An individual who writes a song or makes a documentary, maybe they've copyrighted it, maybe they haven't. They have every right under this bill and should always have the right to put that music, that movie, that documentary onto the internet. It's their work. They get to decide how to distribute it. They shouldn't have to go through a record label or a big studio to do it.